Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speaking of Diamonds. My name is Rich, and I'm your host. I'm the guy behind the camera, and I am here today bringing you the first video for Speaking of Diamonds, a brand new YouTube channel, and it's where we're going to talk about all things diamond painting. What I thought I would do today is take some time and introduce myself, talk to you a little bit about who I am, what my diamond painting journey has been like, and a little bit about what I like to work on, and then a little bit about what I hope to do with this channel, why I'm starting a channel, and how you can help me with this brand new channel. So I thought I would do that in the style of a whip and chat, where a lot of creators, they will work on their work in progress and just, chat with you, hence the name, whip and chat. So I know that a lot of times, and me as well, when I watch whip and chats, I want to know what the people are working with and what they're working on. So I'm working on a canvas called Kissing Santa, and it is by JC Leidendecker, and I just love the old-timey Christmas vibe of this. It is an 80 by 80 crop of a full image, and it is from Jaded Gem Shop squares. So that's what I'm working on. I have my Firefly tray. This is an Inferno Nano. This is one of, I think they came out, this is one of the autumn ones, I believe, with this sort of buffalo plaid. They had a red one as well that I have. I'm obsessed with Firefly trays, and I have quite the number of specifically the style with this spout with the door that opens off the side. The switch I just find a little hard to use, so I do prefer this one. My pen is from Diamond Pen Pal on Etsy. I absolutely love this pen. I like things that are different, and to me this is like Scream Santa, but it doesn't scream Santa like at a distance, right? You have to get up on it and go, oh, this is Santa's belt, and I guess he would be standing this way because this would be probably his beard or something, and this could be his boots. But I love this pen. It feels really good in the hand, and it's nice and smooth and everything, but I really like this pen. I got it last year, like I said, from a Diamond Pen Pal. I am using the DAC multi-placer. This is the 6, which actually places 7. That's not confusing whatsoever. And the single placer. In both of my placers, I'm using Alien Putty. If you've never heard of Alien Putty, we certainly can talk more about it. I have tried a lot of putties and a lot of waxes, and this is by far my favorite thing. It works wonders. It works forever. And especially when you're working on larger canvases like I do, you don't want to be switching out putty and wax all the time. So that's what I'm using there. I have my little trash bin here. I believe this was from Zodiac Shadows on Etsy. I have some random washi tape. This was just something that came in a kit. And then this is a Scotch brand. I don't grid off my entire painting. I just grid off like one row at a time. I put a little row of washi tape just so that I can see clearly where the edge is. And then tweezers from Donna Bass. I just wanted something generic that I could use all year round that was sort of nicer than the freebies, and so I have that, and I have my silicone thimble. This is I hope to share with you some tips and tricks, and this is the first tip that I'm going to give to you. I use this silicone thimble on my pinky. And the reason I do that is because when I'm placing drills, especially multi-placing, I like to put my finger down on the canvas so for a little bit extra stability. So when I go in to place the drills, I can sort of pivot on my finger. And what I was doing was just putting down my finger on the sticky, and that gets annoying. Then I was trying to strategically move release papers and stuff, and that got annoying. And I thought, I need something that's won't stick. What doesn't stick? And I thought silicone, and then I found these. These are on Amazon. I also have recently seen these at similar. It's a silicone, not exactly these, silicone thimble at Dollar Tree, like 2 for $1.25. So great tip, especially like sometimes I work with an easel, and I just like to have that anchor as I'm placing diamonds, and I just find that this helps very much. Here's maybe the second tip that I have for you. This is a little homemade doodad that I made here. I took a piece of, this is just a flat piece of crystal quartz. Doesn't have to be crystal quartz, of course, but I super glued a drill onto it. And what I do is when I fill my pens, whether I'm using wax or putty or alien putty, and then I just push the tip onto the drill, and I start, you know, if I've overfilled it, it's going to ooze out a little bit here. I can clean that up right away. It's just a little way that I try and get my putty or wax situated in the pen securely. And then I have just, I don't typically use like a lot of the trinket trays and stuff like that. This is just like a little wood tray that I received. I'll put a link down below of the store that I got this on for Etsy in case you want one of these, but it's just sort of nice that I can slide everything around my painting. I typically, if I'm working on a smaller canvas, I typically have this sitting off to the side of the canvas, but this canvas is too large to have this out. This is like a trinket tray on steroids a little bit, but you can see here it holds 3 pens. It's half resin, half burl. It has a little padded section back here for little doodads, like my sewing clips that I used to clip my painting to the light pad. Some extra tips. You can obviously do whatever you want to do. If I have this out, and if I'm using, well, typically whatever container I'm using for this painting, I'm using the Elizabeth Ward's, I would set this on here while I'm working on it, or put the round little art dot containers like in here as I'm working so that I can remember what I'm placing. And then of course I do like to switch off of pens. I use different pens for different things. So like this is another Diamond Pen Pal. This is one of their famous lava pens with the little Santa, let's see if I can get this close enough. Little Santa faces that go up and down with some snowflakes. Try and get the, hello. Like I said, first time, I'm not a videographer, but you can see the little Santa face in there. And then I have an Ivy's Dazzlers. I'm using that and this one for my R2D2 because they're sort of space agey in my mind. And I do use this one for both, actually, because I think it's a Fordite. It's, in my opinion, a little space agey as well, but it also has some Christmas colors in it. So, and then, of course, you always need a chapstick, and this one is from O'Brien Custom Turning. You always need that within reach. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm currently have a color in progress. So let me take these great, this release paper from Crashly is just, it's, I can't do without it. I've used other companies and I find that sometimes the other companies just sort of, they peel very easily, meaning that when you go to take it off the canvas, it starts to separate, and as soon as you lose this like shiny surface, you get raw paper, and then that's going to stick to your canvas. So I don't seem to have that trouble as at all or as quickly with Crashly's papers. So shout out to them. So let me go ahead. I'm going to turn my light pad up just a little bit more here so that I can see. All right, so who am I? Like I said, my name is Rich, and I live outside of Chicago in the Western Burbs, and I am very glad to be spending the day inside here with you because it is 26 degrees outside right now, and I just cannot do the cold anymore like I used to. I don't know. I think it's age, very age related, but I also understand I have thyroid, underactive thyroid, and it's my understanding that that can contribute to cold intolerance. So I'm hitting on all cylinders when it comes to not liking cold weather. So I've been diamond painting for about 6 years. I started back in 2018. And how I came across diamond painting was there was a creator back then who, her name was Ella, and she had a channel that was something along the lines of diamond painting and kicking cancer's butt, because she was a 2-time breast cancer survivor. And she was just a lot of fun to listen to. She was a retired prison guard, and she loved diamond painting, and she really enjoyed the therapeutic benefits of diamond painting and talked a lot about them. And at the time, I was a full-time caregiver for my father, who had Parkinson's disease, and I was dealing with that, and just, I don't know, I'm a very big worrywart, and I had a lot of anxiety about taking care of my dad in the house, mostly because he just would not listen to me, sort of like forever the child, and he would not listen to me. So I'd ask him, I would have caregivers come in that were supplemented through the county in which I live in, and they would come in while I would go to work, and I would, when I left work, I worked in the city at the time, I would get on the train, and they would typically leave about the time I was getting on the train downtown. Depending on which train I took, it would take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to get home. So my one request was, Dad, please just hang out, take a nap, just stay in your recliner, don't do anything. Well, I can't tell you how many times I would come home and find him on the floor because he wanted to dust, or he wanted to reach for the remote that the caregiver didn't put within his reach, or whatever the case may be. So my anxiety was just through the roof. I still have, I think I have some form of, the post-traumatic stress syndrome. I think I still have that because my anxiety will spike through the roof when I get worried about something or start overthinking something. So I was watching Ella, and she would talk about how calming diamond painting was and how it helps her relax and whatnot. And plus, I couldn't get over the sound of the diamonds releasing from the pen. So that was soothing to me, definitely like an ASMR moment. So I decided to try my hand at diamond painting. Back then, I did look up when like some of the major companies of diamond painting started, and both Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs started in 2018. So this was in the infancy of how do I want to put it? Like the small business, yes, DAC and Dreamer Designs are pretty big, but they are on the scale of everything, still small businesses. Um, so it was, and I didn't know about them, and I don't think Ella knew about them because she wasn't ordering from them. Everywhere that Ella got her paintings were from AliExpress. So I went out to AliExpress. Ella seemed to like Evermoment, and Evermoment really has put together some nice quality canvases and drills. So I would order through her at the time, much like, and I think my story is not unique in any way, shape, or form. Just like everyone, I started off, I didn't know about licensing, so I would just get whatever image appealed to me and work on that. So I then graduated to custom. I ordered a custom of my dog. My dog Sammy, who is my heart, who is my life. He's my little buddy. He's 12 years old now. And he's having some health issues that is being controlled with medicine. But again, there goes my anxiety a little bit, right? So I started, how big is it? I think it's a 60 by 60 maybe of Sammy. It's very cute. I can show it to you at some point because Sammy is very cute, if I do say so myself. But I started working on that, and then I made the decision to go back to school. I had, out of high school, I did start to go to a community college. There's a story behind that I'll spare you at the moment. But I was a music education major at the time, and it didn't work out for a number of factors, which again, musicians, we may want to have a little chat about why it didn't work out for me. I was a singer for years, vocalist for years. I would participate in competitions, and I would win those competitions a lot. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to say that I was good because that's subjective, but I would win those competitions a lot. But when I got to college, it just, the vocal part worked out for me, but not music theory. And music theory is important if you want to stand up in front of people and, conduct them and coach them and whatnot to produce music. So that didn't work out for me, nor did the piano. And at that same time, my dad was very much, you need to get a real career. This is not going to pay the bills for you. You're not going to be successful, what have you. So that's when I started working at a bank. And I have since then been in banking for over 30 years. And primarily community banks, which a lot of my time, I've worked in branches, I've worked in operations, but a majority of my time has been spent in training and development and human resources. So I started at a larger international bank where I still work there. But I had a boss who I really admired, and she took me aside one day and she says, you know what, the no degree thing probably wasn't an issue in the community banks where you worked, but for a larger bank like this, you really need a degree. So she encouraged me to go back to school. So I did. It was at that time I took that custom of Sammy, hung it up in the closet, and sort of just focused on getting my undergrad work completed. And I really do enjoy being a student, and I really enjoyed the program that I was in. It was a competency-based program, so very different from traditional college programs. And I enjoyed it so much that I decided to go on to a more traditional program to get my master's degree. So I have a bachelor's in training and development and a master's in human resources management. So that kept me busy for a little bit, although I wasn't sort of offline when it came to diamond painting for long because I went to school essentially full time. Like the number of hours, I was a full time student. I would go at night. I was a full time employee, a full time student, and a full time caregiver for my dad. So the painting of Sammy hung in the closet for a little bit. I would take it out on spring breaks and the like, and work on it because I certainly wasn't traveling at the time. All of my time and money was going into keeping my dad safe and cared for. So once I graduated from I went to DePaul University in Chicago. So I graduated from DePaul with my master's. That was at the very beginning, sort of ish, of the lockdowns for the big C. So out came that picture of Sammy, and I started working on it in a lot more, getting things done. I was working from home, didn't have my normal commute time. There was a period of time that I actually couldn't work because the very large bank that I worked for was sort of caught off guard to have 45,000 employees worldwide log into a VPN at the same time. So we had to work in shifts. And I got relegated to the night shift, so I had my days free a little bit. So I would diamond paint during the day, and then start to work in the afternoon, and what have you. So when I was working on that canvas of Sammy, I fell in love with the craft again, all over again, and I started looking online for. Well, I did look for Ella, and Ella stopped making videos. I think there's still a Facebook group out there that holds the name, but Ella does not. She doesn't manage it. It's like sort of her administrators took over, and it sort of lives on as its own thing. But come to find that everybody during the lockdown was very busy getting online. So not only was I adopting to a life that was more online with working from home permanently, but the diamond painting community seemed to really blossom on YouTube and Instagram at the time. I don't think TikTok was around at that time, at least not as prevalent as it is today. So I started finding creators, and I started watching the whip and chats, the unboxings, the reviews and stuff that we have come to grow accustomed to today. Much like what Aloe is doing, but a little bit more polished, I guess, maybe a little bit more fancy. And I just fell in love, and I started getting to know people, and the diamond painting community is just an amazing place. Yes, there is pockets of drama, but I don't subscribe to that type of crap. If I hear it, I try and turn my cheek to it, or just walk away from it altogether. There is definitely a difference between wanting to be informed and then to participate in drama. So I certainly want to know if somebody does something a little shady. I want to know about it because I want to make an educated decision now as to whether or not I want to maybe purchase from that small shop or whatnot. But I don't want to sit there and go down the rabbit hole of they're such jerks and this, that, the other thing, and this is what I heard, and I heard this, and I heard this. I don't want to hear that, because this is, first of all, let's all get over it. This is a craft. Number one, this is a craft. It's we are not solving world hunger. We are definitely helping our mental health, but this is not saving lives or anything on operating tables. So that's number one. Number two, we come to this craft for the peace that it brings and the relaxation that it brings. And so who wants to have the anxiety over who likes who and why and who's mad at what and what have you. So what happened there? Little drill went and decided to fly off my pen. So discovered the community, and really that's why I'm here now, because I want to give back to the community. I certainly have felt that I've been part of the community, but I want to give back a little bit. I figure I've been diamond painting for a while. I've been diamond painting for a little bit longer than some of the folks that I have followed out there, and I thought, I know things. Let's go ahead and start up this channel and tap into my passion for training and development and sort of help educate people on ways to make things easier, or like I said earlier, tips and tricks on how to improve your diamond painting experience. What I will not say I'm going to do is teach people how to diamond paint, because I don't think there's any right or wrong way to diamond paint. So you start at the top of the canvas, you start at the bottom of the canvas, you use putty, you use wax, whatever it is. That is, you are 100% right, and I am not going to sit here and talk you out of that. What I will do, though, is I will try out the different putties and the different waxes, and I will talk to you about, here's what I think some of the pros and cons are regarding this product. Or I ordered this canvas from a small shop, and here's what I think about it. And, use my experience in diamond painting to formulate some pros and cons, and hopefully give you enough information to make an informed decision on whether or not you want to buy something or from a specific shop. I will confess I am totally a gadgets guy. So I love all the pens. I love all the trays. I love all the gadgets that go with anything, quite honestly. But if it's out there, I've probably tried it. And if I've tried it, I will happily tell you what I think about it, and why. I think it's always important to put that why behind it. I'm not just going to sit here and go, I don't like it, so therefore you shouldn't like it. I'm going to tell you, I don't like it, and this is why, or I do like it, and this is why. And the reason for that is, one of the first principles of adult learning is that adults want to know why they do things. And think about it. How frustrating was it when we were all kids and you were like, well, why do I need to do this? And you were told, because I said so. No one could ever explain to me in really concrete terms why I needed to know algebra. Okay. Geometry, I got that, that could come in handy somewhere down the line. But why do I need to know algebra? And it was just like, you just need to know it. You need to go sit down and do your homework and whatever. And I struggled with it. So adults want to know why. So I always give the why. And that's part of what has driven me in my career to move into training and development, because first of all, understanding how to educate adults is fascinating, and very different from teaching children, which sometimes people just don't get. And those are the people who drive you nuts because they want to, talk baby talk, or, here's a sticker and blah, blah, blah. It's like, get out of here. But the educating of adults is interesting, but also because I always wanted to know the why behind things. When you're a trainer, you need to know those whys. So, well, why do we need to do this? Well, because there's a regulation that says we need to do it, or here's, the situation, maybe it's something security related, and here's a time that someone got away with some money, and so now therefore we do X, Y, and Z. So I always like to know the why of things, and I like to provide that to people as well. So that's my diamond painting channel. A little bit about how I like to diamond paint. I mentioned earlier that I like larger canvases, so this 80 by 80 maybe is on the larger size of what I like to work on, but I definitely like working on the larger pieces. I certainly have an appreciation for the smaller pieces as well when you need a little bit of a break. But I always try to do the whips that I work on, I always try and do different sizes. Even my R2D2, even though it's probably considered a big canvas because it's so long, the fact that it's so narrow really gives me a different experience than working on this big 80 by 80 canvas. I do prefer squares. I will do a round if I really like the artist or the art. But I find having to center the drills is just, it takes more time for me. Whereas here, I don't have the best placement. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I am always a perfect placer, but I darn well know that when I put the square down next to another square, it's going to move that other one sort of to where it was supposed to be. So I do prefer squares. I do prefer putty over wax, alien putty over regular putty. Let's see what else. I do enjoy cross-stitch conversions. I talked a little bit about that, and I showed you my R2D2. I also enjoy enhancements, and if you don't know what enhancements are when you replace a drill that comes with the kit, and you just replace it based on color or maybe the type of drill. So if you think that the painting can use some extra sparkle and you want to add ABs, you go ahead and you swap out the regular drills for ABs. You can change the color of things, and there's a number of different specialty drills that you can add to canvases that just do different. It makes the eye pick up the colors and whatnot just so different. It adds dimension to pictures, stuff like that. So I really enjoy doing those, and I find that I have this creative side to my mind, and diamond painting certainly itches that scratch a little bit, but really I'm just following a pattern here. So it doesn't fully fire all of the creation synapses, right? Then cross-stitch conversion, which if you don't know what that is basically when you have a blank canvas, no symbols, no colors, and you're working off a cross-stitch pattern to place the drill. So you're counting, all right, I need to go over 3 and then put a white one down and now put a red one down and then go over 4 and put a yellow one down, whatever the case may be. That brings the creativity up a little bit, but more so it just takes this sort of blissfully mindless experience or process and makes you concentrate on it a little bit more. So that's sometimes something I feel that I need to do. But there's certainly nothing wrong with, just matching color to symbol, color to symbol. That is very therapeutic in and of itself. And then when I really need the creative, to scratch the creative part of my brain, that's when I do the enhancements. Trying to figure out how can I make this look. Usually what I'm looking for is I'm looking to make it look more realistic. And what can I use to create an illusion of, whether it's light coming out of a window or the illusion of flowers looking matte and like a flower actually is, by maybe using some dust drills, things like that. So I'm just going through here and double checking, see if I've caught everything. I'm just notorious at finding, symbols that I placed 20 minutes ago that I missed. So I'm just going to look through this. While I finish up here, what do I hope to do with the channel? Probably the typical stuff. I mean, I'm not looking to change the world with a diamond painting channel, but certainly want to, like I've talked about, tips and tricks. We can look at products. We can review those products. But really, what I want to do with the channel is what you guys want from a channel. So I would ask that, if anything that I've talked about today has maybe, ring a bell in your head, please go ahead and like, subscribe, set up the alerts so you know when I post a video, and provide comments of, introduce yourself. Here's what I like to work on. Here's, here's the, I'm squares, I'm rounds, I like the putty, what have you. Any type of introduction, where you're at, things like that. But then also let me know what type of questions you may have. Have I ever used a certain company? Or, I have one that I'm constantly posting in the chats online is how to get the ABs to not stick to your wax or your putty, even if it's brand new. I have a trick for that. And I'm not saying that it's a trick that no one absolutely knows, but it's a trick. So I would like to share that with you at some point, and maybe that will help you as well. So really, I'm here to bring back to the community a little bit of my perspective when it comes to diamond painting, a little bit of my theories when it comes to diamond painting. And yes, I have theories, or just a little bit of my experience, and bring it back to the community. So definitely whip and chats, maybe some lives, perhaps some unboxings or just reviews, like a true unboxing. I don't know that I could do justice to that, because I don't see a lot of value from unboxings going through and here's all the colors and here's where they're at. Definitely can talk about quality, definitely can talk about rendering, but so they may be a little bit different from some other areas. But yeah, that's who I am. That's how I got here, and that's what I want to do with this channel. So I hope that, like I said earlier, that something has we've made a connection here at some point. If not, maybe, please still subscribe and give me another chance to, as we go on. I do have some ideas for some tips and tricks right out of the gate. And then, of course, just doing the regular whip and chats and stuff to talk about life. Let me know. Music majors, I can tell you a very funny, interesting story as to why my music education degree did not work out. Or folks, if you're interested in even just banking, ask a question. I can tell you about it. I love talking about banking. Oh, and I do like to cruise. Royal Caribbean is my preferred cruise line. I have been on a number of cruises, and really thanks to the pandemic, I earned a lot of extra loyalty points. So I'm at one of the top tiers of cruising. I say that because I have cruised a lot. I cruise alone, so I automatically get some duplicate points there. But I also have seen a lot, researched a lot, and I love to talk about cruises. So that's who I am. Let me know who you are. Let me know what you're looking for, and I will catch up with you on the next video, whether it's a tips and tricks, or definitely the next whip and chat, where we can sit down and just relax and diamond paint together and catch up. So again, thank you. My name is Rich. Thank you for tuning in to Speaking of Diamonds. And remember, there is no wrong or right way to diamond paint. So you do you. Thanks very much and have a good rest of your day, evening, week, what have you. Talk to you next time.